Okay, hey guys, now I'm gonna do the Ottawa-Pittsburgh series. Preview predictions, you know. Third round, Eastern Conference Final. I don't understand, I don't. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not happy. Of course, I'm really happy that the Sens advanced. They beat the Rangers in 6. I did not really expect that. I expected the Rangers in 6, not the Sens in 6, but I mean, why am I complaining? Like, I'll be happy, right, bitch? Like, I'm just amazed. Like, the way I think about it is that I think we're going to lose eventually. So when I see Ottawa going so far, yes, I'm happy that they've accomplished this. But then at the same time, I'm like, why? Like, yeah, it's baby steps, but I mean, they're not just, like, think about it. Ottawa's mindset right now in the third round, like right now, going into the third round tomorrow, it's not like, okay, so we won the first two, now baby steps. So we're going to lose this series, and then we're going to win this, then we're going to make the playoffs and make it again all the way up until this point. No. Every team right now is just trying to win the Stanley Cup. So Ottawa has definitely been amazing. I expected them to be out so much longer ago, a while ago. They're not, which is obviously a good thing. Only a Canadian team left, which I did not expect. Last Canadian team standing, did not expect it to be Ottawa's. To be honest, did not. Like, I did not. I'm just really shocked that that's what's happening. But Ottawa's 8 wins away from the Stanley Cup. I don't think they're going to get the 4 that they need against Pittsburgh. And I don't think they're going to get the 4 that, against Nashville or Anaheim. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise me. They've already surprised me up until this point. Who says they can't surprise me and all the Sens fans and themselves and and all the doubters wrong, right? So let's get right into it. The season series is 2-1-0 for Ottawa. The last playoff meeting was the 2013 Eastern Conference second round, where the Penguins won the series 4-1. Obviously, that was 2013, now it's 2017. It's obviously a different series now. I hope the Sens can push them till 6, maybe even a Game 7 if it's needed. I just hope, this is what I hope. I hope that the Senators can win at least one game in Pittsburgh, either Game 1 or 2, just to win one game. Because that way it'll be going to Ottawa 1-1, and then Ottawa can take a 2-1 lead, or go down 2-1. So in Game 3, if Ottawa loses Game 3, then I want them to win Game 4, and Game 5, and basically Game 6. If the Pens win both games at home, then I want Ottawa to win Games 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Because I want them to win in 6. So in order for that to happen, like, it has to be 2-2 after Game 4. Which I don't want that. I want, literally, I want the Sens to win. I want the Sens to sweep the Penguins. But is that going to happen, being realistically? No. So how they got here? How did they get here? The Pittsburgh Penguins advanced to the Eastern Conference Final by defeating the Washington Capitals in 7 games in the Eastern Conference second round. Honestly, Washington put up hell of a fight, down 3-1 in the series, and then they lose 4-3 in Game 7. At least they forced it to a Game 7, So they won 2-0 in Game 7 on Wednesday after the Capitals rallied down from 3-1 in the series with victories in Game 5 and 6. The Ottawa Senators advanced by defeating the New York Rangers in 6 games, ending the series with a 4-2 victory in Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. I was actually scared that series was going to go to a Game 7, because I cannot handle Game 7s. Like, if the Sens have the chance to win it in Game 6, whether it's at home or in the opponent's building, I don't care. Just do it, because I cannot handle a Game 7. I can't. So the best of 7 conference final begins at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh on Saturday, so tomorrow, at 7 p.m. The Penguins, the defending Stanley Cup champions, finished second in the Metropolitan Division with 111 points. The Senators finished second in the Atlantic Division, 98 points, and are in the conference final for the first time in 10 years. This is Ottawa's 3rd time in history making the Stanley Cup, making the conference finals. Honestly, again, I did not expect them here. I expected them out in the first round, and then if not the first round, then definitely in the second round. But now that, as we go on, the harder teams you face, now I'm thinking, okay, we're definitely fucked now, because we're playing Pittsburgh. My friend did give me a bunch of hope by saying some things, by saying, okay, Pittsburgh has a lot of, like, Pittsburgh is not unbeatable. They're beatable. Like, you can beat them. They're not freaking unstoppable. Like, Crosby is not 100%. A lot of the players aren't 100%. Like, a lot of them are injured. So, and Marc-Andre Fleury is not the best goalie. But think about it. If you can say all that about Pittsburgh, then you can say, okay, well, Erik Karlsson is playing with injury too in his heel. Hairline fractures, I think 2 or 3 hairline fractures in his left heel. That's not that bad, but I mean, it's still like in his skate, like in this like foot area. So I mean, that's where you skate. So I mean, honestly, like, Ottawa has its ups and downs too. I hope the Sens can win. Somehow, I hope the Sens can win. My prediction is obviously going to be in favor of Pittsburgh. But guess what? For my first 2 videos, I said Boston. Or I said Sens or Bruins in 7 because it was going to be so close. And then I was wrong for the Sens and Rangers because I said Rangers in 6, but then the Sens won in 6. So it's crazy shit. But I mean, I was wrong for those 2 series, or that are definitely the second one. So hopefully I'll be wrong again. So the first time in 10 years. So Ottawa definitely wants to take advantage at this point. They've been their first time in 10 years, in a freaking decade, or decade, right? I think that's what it is. Like, first time in like a decade. Like, come on, they want to make the most of it and play to their full potential, especially against a tough team like Pittsburgh. So 5 storylines, like always. So Ottawa is definitely the underdogs again. So it's called the underdogs again. Ottawa coach Guy Boucher has touted his team as the underdog throughout the first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs, even though the Senators have had home ice advantage in each series. They defeated the injury-riddled Boston Bruins in the first round and got past the Rangers in the second round despite being outscored in the series. But there's no question the Senators will be underdogs against the Penguins. No question. They have already gone further than almost anyone expected them to, but defeating the Penguins figures to be a far more difficult task. So I can definitely agree with this. Definitely, Ottawa's definitely the underdogs again. Basically, like they were the underdogs in the first and second round, but guess what? They were able to overcome that. But the Senators have had home ice advantage in those series. In this series, they finally don't have home ice advantage, which I didn't expect them to. I think either way, Ottawa would not have home ice advantage because I'm pretty sure whether we played Pittsburgh or Washington, I feel like we would have had a better chance against Washington, because I think Pittsburgh is better than Washington. But I think we can. They're both beatable. I think Anderson can steal some games, but can he steal 4? That's the important question. Maybe he can steal 1 or 2, but that's not good enough. We need to win 4 to advance. So yeah, the Senators, for the first time this season, playoff season, they do not have home ice advantage. So let's see how the series turns out. They have definitely gone further than anybody expected them to. I expected them out in the first round. And they've already basically proved everybody wrong. But definitely to prove Pittsburgh, or to be Pittsburgh, you definitely have to be on your game. You have to be on you have to be on their ass. Where's my phone? You have to be on their ass. You can't let them get good scoring chances. You can't allow breakaways. You can't allow power plays. You can't allow shorthanded goals. Like, you can't allow anything. Next point. Speed versus slowdown. This series figures to be a battle between the NHL's fastest team and the one that's built its identity around slowing down the opposition. However, the Senators struggle to handle the Rangers' speed at times and will be significantly tested against the Penguins. Definitely true. I know there was like a bunch of breakaways. We cannot allow breakaways against Pittsburgh. We cannot allow breakaways against Pittsburgh. Like, you just can't. They will score on your ass and you'll be down in the game just like that. No doing that. Like, you have to get your shit together. I mean, I'm not saying that the Sens have been bad up until this point. The Sens have been amazing. But I mean, like, you have to slow down. Like, they've already struggled in the second round. So to be in the third round, they're lucky to be here. I feel like this is all a dream. Like, is Ottawa actually in the third round? Like, first time I've seen Ottawa in the second round was this year. And now seeing them in the third, it's like, what the fuck? But it's a good thing, of course. So definitely we have to slow them down, and we have to. So basically, speed versus slowdown. We have to have better speed, and we have to slow them down. Third, point. Storyline. Time off for Erik Karlsson. By finishing off the Rangers in 6 games, the Senators earned a 3-day break, which is not that much, but it's still a 3-day break before the conference final begins. So they get 1 more day off than the Rangers. Penguins. The time off figures to be especially helpful to Karlsson. The defenseman, as I mentioned, has been the biggest factor in getting Ottawa to this point, but has been playing with 2 hairline fractures in his left heel. So Erik Karlsson has to continue being good. Ottawa in general has to be being good. But Ottawa has a longer break than the Penguins, so let's see. Honestly, I really hope they win Game 1, because then, the way I look at it is, if you win Game 1, then you have a 1-0 lead. You're either going to be going back home, like, if they win Game 2, then, like, the worst that'll happen if you win Game 1 is you'll go to Game 3 tied 1-1. That's the worst case. If you lose Game 1, then you have to win Game 2. Or that's going to be your mindset, of course. So, and then like, say Ottawa wins Game 1, then they could have a chance to make it 2-0 in the series. My friend thinks it'll be 2-0 Pittsburgh, which I agree 100% with him. Because honestly, I don't think the Sens can. Like, I don't think they can. I'm sorry, but, like, I'm thinking back to the Washington game where they lost Game 3. Or Game 4, was it? I think it was Game 3 in Pittsburgh. When they had a 2-0 lead, and then Pittsburgh tied it, just like that. So defensive depth. 4th. Storyline. The Penguins have won their first 2 series without number 1 defenseman Chris Letang, who is out for the rest of the playoffs after a neck injury. Okay, he's out now, but, like, when's he coming back? He's not coming back this season, so Chris Letang is out for the rest of the playoffs, so we don't have to worry about him. They also didn't have Trevor Daley in Game 6 and 7 against Washington. Despite the injuries, Pittsburgh has won 8 of 12 playoff games. So that definitely shows something. If you're missing a few of your good players and you're still winning a lot of games, that's pretty damn impressive. Of course, it allows Ottawa to have a chance, but I mean, if Washington couldn't beat Pittsburgh, why do you think Ottawa can? That's the thing. I'm like bitching out the camera. To be honest though, like, how do you expect Ottawa to beat them if Washington couldn't even beat them? Like, what? So the Penguins' depth on defense and will be tested again by the Senators, and a return of Daley would be welcome. No, I don't want Daley back. I don't want anybody back. Like, I just wish, I don't want any injured players to come back for Pittsburgh, because Ottawa needs all the help they can get. Of course, they've made it this far. They've proven that they're doing something right. So if they continue doing that, maybe they'll continue winning. I don't know. But both Pittsburgh, Anaheim, Nashville, and Ottawa are 8 wins away from the Stanley Cup in their hands. So who will get it? Honestly, thinking about it right now, Nashville, Anaheim, I'm thinking Pittsburgh or Nashville. I do think Anaheim stands a good chance. Ottawa stands a chance, but I mean, it's not a big one. So the 5th and final point is about Marc-Andre Fleury. So how far with Marc-Andre Fleury? Just as the Penguins did in the playoffs last year, they are relying on their backup goaltender after the starter was injured. In 2016, it was Matt Murray taking over for Fleury. This year has been the opposite, with Fleury stepping in after Murray was hurt during the warm-up for Game 1 of the first round against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and going 8-4 through the first 2 rounds. Not bad. However, Murray was healthy enough to dress as Fleury's backup for Game 7 against the Capitals. If Fleury hits a rough spot, will coach Mike Sullivan turn to Murray? Honestly, Murray is not as good as Fleury. We can all admit that. He definitely has been good. He's shown he can play. So, I mean, against either goalie, it's going to be hard to score on. So, yeah. By the numbers. 3.42. That's the goals scored. That's the goals per game scored by the Penguins in the playoffs. Ottawa cannot do that, the most of any team. The Senators are 3rd among the 4 remaining teams at 2.83. 3rd Not bad. I mean, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, so they're doing something right, and so is Anderson. So I mean, so now 6. That's the number of goals scored by Ottawa's forward Jean-Gabriel Pageau in the second round against the Rangers. Pageau scored 4 goals. He scored a hat trick, and then he scored 4 goals in Game 2 against the Rangers. Pageau scored 12 goals in 82 regular season games. The Senators, as a team, scored 19 goals against New York. 19 goals against Lundqvist, I do not see that coming, but can we beat Fleury as many times? Can we beat Fleury not 19 times as well? Can we beat him 20 times? We have to beat him a significant amount of times to be able to win the series. And of course, with Pittsburgh being able to score, Ottawa's going to need to be able to score too. I have a feeling there'll be high-scoring games. Okay, to be honest, I think there's going to be some high-scoring games and then some low-scoring games because I feel like the goalies will at some point have a good game, but at the same time, I think both teams have good players that can score, so at the same time, like against the Rangers, like a freaking 5-4 win, 6-5 win, like come on now, you know what I mean? Pretty crazy. It's high-scoring games. So 250. That's the number of shots blocked by the Penguins in 12 games during the playoffs, the most in the NHL. That's what kills you, the shot blocks. You cannot let the shots get blocked. Of course, you can't control that. You're just shooting the puck and seeing where it goes. But you cannot, it's hard. Shot blocks is definitely... is a killer because, it's if that player wasn't there, it could have gone in the net. It's so much different. You know what I mean? The Senators, who have talked about how important blocks are to their game plan, have blocked 195 in 12 games. So 250 to 195, of course. Pittsburgh blocked 55 more, but for Ottawa, 195 is pretty good. So shot blocking will definitely be a factor in this series. So in the spotlight, Penguins, or for the Penguins, Marc-Andre Fleury, goaltender. Fleury, with 29 saves, was superb in Game 7 against the Capitals, especially in the first 10 minutes when Washington dominated play. Honestly, being, when the team comes out strong, and your goalie is, standing strong, then that's really good, because then, after a few minutes, then, of course, it's going to wear down, and then it's still, 0-0, and then maybe if you get lucky, then you'll have a lead. So I mean, it's really important when when the opposition dominates play, then your goalie has to be the best. So in Pittsburgh's case, if Ottawa's all over them, then they have to be strong. Of course, I don't want them to. Of course, I want Ottawa to freaking score and win. But yeah, you cannot let if Pittsburgh is dominating you in the first few minutes, stop the shots. That's good, because then it might come down to those 10 minutes. If they score 2 goals, then that might just be the game. It might be a 2-1 game, and then you might lose just because of those 10 minutes that you didn't save. You have to save every shot, especially when they're dominating play. That's when you have to be at your best. So he's played every minute through the first 2 rounds and has a 2.55 goals against average and .927 save percentage in 12 games. Not bad. 2.55 goals against, not bad, considering Pittsburgh can score. It's not like they can't score in their shit and then they have to rely on their goalie. If it's a high-scoring game, then basically it's already not a goalie's night. It just depends on the players. It just depends on what player is going to beat the goalie. So the last point, the Senators, in the spotlight for the Senators, Erik Karlsson, defenseman. Karlsson might be the best player on any team through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. He played huge minutes against the Bruins and Rangers, 28 minutes and 50. Sorry guys, I stopped recording because I ran out of storage because this video is long as hell. So, as I was saying, he played huge minutes, Erik Karlsson, against the Rangers and Bruins, 28 minutes, 56 seconds per game. That's literally half the game. That's crazy. He's first among defensemen and tied for 6th among all players in scoring with 13 points, 2 goals, 11 assists, and each of his goals has been a game winner. That's crazy. I actually do remember that, I think. Do I? No. I remember one of them in game 1 when it was like 2-1 to Ottawa with like 4 minutes left or something, so yeah. Though Boucher has talked about being smart with Carlson's minutes, it's almost impossible to keep him off the ice, so true. He's such a good player, and obviously you're going to play your good players, right? So, I mean, yeah. So now, the keys to victory, and this is what's going to obviously matter the most. Penguins have to just be themselves. The Penguins need to concentrate on doing exactly what they have been doing, playing exactly as they have been playing through the first 2 rounds. That means using their speed offensively and defensively, capitalizing on scoring opportunities, and getting solid goaltending. That's literally what Ottawa needs. Ottawa needs to like make their speed good. Ottawa needs to be offensive, or needs to basically what I just said about Pittsburgh. That means using their speed offensively, defensively, capitalizing on scoring chances. That's definitely what Ottawa needs to do. Capitalize on scoring opportunities, and definitely needs a solid goaltending as well. For the Senators, they have to stick to their structure. The Senators' success is based on adhering to their system, something they did for much of the second round, though not throughout. They allowed too many breakaways to the Rangers, something they cannot do against the Penguins. Ottawa's 1-3-1 system has to slow down Pittsburgh through the neutral zone. Honestly, I agree 100%. You cannot let Pittsburgh just go through like that. You cannot. You're going to be fucked up if you let them do that to you. Like, you're definitely going to get scored on. Like, you're going to lose games. Like, you cannot allow breakaways. You cannot... Basically, I said it all before. You cannot allow power plays. You cannot allow breakaways. You cannot allow 2-on-1s. You cannot allow any type of breakaway. No penalty shot. Nothing like that. Don't give up amazing. Don't turnovers. No. Turnovers in Pittsburgh zone is one thing, but in the Ottawa zone, if it's already in there, then all you have to do is turn around and shoot, basically, and then it can go in at 1-0. There you go. So, the series starts tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I believe. Let me check it once again. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Yes, it does, in Pittsburgh. Game 1. Go Sens go. You are Canada's only team left. Make Canada proud. Bring the cup to Canada. Not only to Canada, but to Ottawa. Let's just do it. I know they can do it. I know they can, but they have to work for it. They definitely have to work like a lot for it, because this is not going to be easy for them. Everybody knows that this is not going to be an easy series for Ottawa. Definitely not, but it's possible. Like, my friend was basically the one giving me hope, because I'm like, no, the Sens are going to lose. No question about it. You have to stay positive. You're not going to go into a series the Sens are going to lose in 4. You have to go in positive, and there is positive things to be like happy about, because it's not like we're down like 1,000 defense, or it's not like we're down like a lot of people, and you know, like they have injured people too. So I mean, prediction, I'm still gonna say the Pens in 5 or 6. To be honest, I hope not. I hope the Sens can prove me wrong and win in 6 or even 5, because like I feel like my prediction is well, because my second round prediction, I feel like what I say is going to be the opposite. So if I say that it depends in 5, then the Sens are going to win in 5. I fucking wish. If that actually does happen, I'll be so fucking happy, because I know that we're only 4 wins away from the Stanley Cup Finals. It's crazy to think, but it's awful. Like, I would hate to lose at this point. I would feel so bad for them and the fans, because like they got so pumped. But no one expected Ottawa to make it this far anyway, so like we're obviously going to be happy that they've made it this far. But at the same time, I don't want them to come this far just to lose. I want them to come this far to win. Like, shit. So I'm going to say Pens in 5 or 6. Of course, I hope the Sens can prove me wrong. If they do, I'll guess. Again, the only Canadian team left. I just stopped recording once again because I have like no storage on this thing, because of the 20-minute video I have from the previous video, and then from this video too. This video is really long too. So that's basically it for this preview video. This is like the longest it's ever mine. This is like the longest one has ever been. So I will see you guys in the Stanley Cup Finals, where hopefully it will be Edmonton, where hopefully it will be Ottawa versus Nashville or Anaheim. Let's hope. So I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the Stanley Cup Finals prediction and everything. And yeah, my prediction again for this series is going to be Pens in 5 or 6, and for the other one, it's going to go to a game 7. I just don't know who's going to win, Nashville or... I think Nashville does have the edge. I don't know. Anaheim has home ice advantage again. So let's see if it goes to a game 7, it's going to be in Anaheim. So let's see if the Ducks can go back to their ways and lose again. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the Stanley Cup Finals.